Hello, everybody. Yes, it's me, Gary, back with another Cuppa chat here on the Panto Archive. And once again, I've got a very, 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 very special guest. So, special guest, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name's Tim McArthur. I love Panto. I've been doing it for 242 years, and it's great fun. And yeah, I love it.
Perfect. Well, welcome, Tim, to the Cuppa chat. Now, I've done a little bit of reading about you, and I've chosen a cup that is special for you today because it would be very rude
Right.
of me to invite you onto the Cuppa chat and not ask you for what you want to drink. So I brought my Harry Potter. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good because I know you do some adult pantos, don't you?
I do. Yeah, that's a very good choice of mug there.
And I've, as usual, been a bit boring, a bit as everyone who's watching the Cup of Chats will know that I always have blackcurrant in my cup. But if I can offer you a drink, what is your choice of drink to start with today?
Um, well, if it was a soft drink, it would probably be a honey, ginger, and lemon drink. But if it was
Nice.
an alcoholic drink, it would probably be a vodka soda. Oh, actually, a twinkle. I do like a twinkle.
A twinkle? What I
Yeah.
need to ask, what on earth is a twinkle? Because I don't drink, so you're gonna have to enlighten me here.
A twinkle is it's a mixture of champagne, vodka, and elderflower with a bit
What?
of lemon in it. It's quite
Wow.
strong.
Wow. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we've done quite a few of these interviews now, and you're the first one that's gone the alcohol. I'll have the alcohol. I don't mind. Normally, people are like, I'll have tea, coffee. Tim's like,
Yeah.
no, stuff that. I'm having this.
Yeah. Well, look, on a morning it'll be the tea, and then at the end of a long working day, it's probably, a bit of a twinkle.
Yeah, perfect. Well, what a great way to start. And I tell you what, I'm so happy that you've come to join us today because, as I alluded to, you're been doing some adult pantos as well, haven't you? As well as normal pantos, you've done lots of that. But tell me, what's the difference for anyone who has no idea what on earth we're talking about? What's the difference between a normal panto and an adult panto? Because we always say panto is for the whole family. It's not with adult, is it?
No, but the fundamental things are still there. So for 10 years now, I've been directing the Royal Vauxhall Tavern Panto in Vauxhall, which is the iconic venue where Lily Savage started her career.
Mm.
And, and it's such iconic in the queer community. And actually, I think the first year I did randomly was Dame in Hereford many years ago. And I remember Estelle, who's the director, who's still directing there, who actually won Best Director for Hereford Panto at the Panto Awards this year. She just said, always direct Panto like it's Shakespeare. Like,
Mm.
just tell the story because that's the fundamental thing of a panto. So actually, with the adult pantos, it's just the same as a normal panto, apart from there maybe the themes might be adult, it might be a little bit more risque. And that doesn't mean because it's an adult panto that you have to have swearing, because actually you don't. It's not about an adult panto. It can be so much more clever than just, having bad swear words all the time. That's not what it's about. It's sort of more about the structure of things. So, for example, we did Sleeping Beauty, the adult version of Sleeping Beauty, Pricked, it was called,
Mm.
and it was just after the COVID when things started opening up. So because people weren't allowed to kiss on stage, we had a piece of Perspex plastic glass that they put through to their mouth to kiss, and because of that, it gave us so much more scope. So it wasn't just a kiss; it was like a massive licking session, but they were licking the glass, you know what I mean? So it's that sort of feel more with an adult panto than actually being completely vulgar. But
Yeah.
then, a couple of years ago, we directed and I had a fox who was in a backless jockstrap,
I
you
mean,
know.
so anything goes really, because I mean, I was lucky enough to do an adult panto for the first time last year, and I really enjoyed it. It's something completely different to what I've ever done before. But a lot of people come up to me and went, "It's just swearing." But as you say, Tim, it's not just that, is it? It's actually really
No,
clever stuff sometimes.
yeah. And actually, I think that the more effective it is sometimes when you don't swear and then you use a very special moment that you do a swear word, which actually brings the house down. So it's that, it can be it is a lot cleverer. And the other thing with adult panto is I found that over the years, they become more and more popular because I think also some adults love panto,
Yeah.
but they hate going to see a panto with sitting with children. And that's not been horrible, but it's, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where I think, and also because I think the great thing about Panto is that whenever we go to the Panto, we all behave like kids anyway. We all go back to our first experience and we all want to boom, we all want to hiss. And I think with an adult Panto, when you know, especially at the RBT, when you've got 180 people in that space and they all behave like kids, it's so joyous to watch, actually.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It is coming back to that sort of experience that you had to start with. Tim, how did it all start for you then, Panto? Did you do it as a child and then turn professionally? How did it all begin for you?
No, I just the first one I went to drama school, I went to Mount View, and the first couple of years of leaving, I was sort of in hired as a dancer, and I
Mm,
don't know why, because I wasn't, you know, all the dancers get their legs high in the air. Well, I mean, I could not even kick my leg, but I was often high because choreographers said you can sell a number. And I remember doing Colchester Mercury Panto for a couple of years in the ensemble, and there was a brilliant dame called Peter Shorey, and I used to stand and watch him in the wings, thinking, one day I would love to be a Dane because he was a man in a frock and he was a beautiful man and just really, you know, tell the story. So I think it was always something that I'd wanted to do. And then when I did my first Dame at Hereford and I was there for 4 years, that was when I was really like, okay, this is, and when I do Dame, I am a man in a frock,
hmm.
but I also really invest in the relationship with my sons.
Yeah,
That's something I think that you have to be, that has to be believable, you know.
yeah.
So I've had many sons over the years and they all still call me mummy whenever I see them, which is really sweet.
Oh, that is really sweet. And as you say, like some people nowadays think that the Dame role isn't appropriate, isn't, you know, the what we should be seeing nowadays. But everyone I've spoken to is saying the same thing, Tim, that it's not meant to be, you know, this person who's to become a lady or a female. It is
No,
it is it is just a character and it is a man in a
it's
frock,
a
you know.
character. It's a
Yeah,
man in a frock. And when you think about Les Dawson, especially Les Dawson, you know, who would just put a little bit of lippy on and that was it.
yeah,
You know, and even Ian McKellen, of course, you know, doing it
yeah.
recently, you know, it's not about, and I think that's the great thing where the audience know
Hmm.
that you're a man in a frock, you
Yeah.
know, and I never try and be graceful with it. You know,
Hmm.
I'm always just me in the front, really. I base it probably on my grandma and my mum, to be honest. You know, there's elements of those that come out during the performance,
Yeah.
but you know, it's just yeah. I think I'll be really sad if we lose Dames how they are in pantos. But then the interesting thing is this year, you know, we're doing Cinderella at the White Rock, and it's my 6th year there, and they producers Imagine Theatre asked me what I wanted to do,
Mm.
and me and the comic, who's been my son there for 5 years, we weren't really keen on doing uglies together. And
Mm.
he wanted to be Buttons, so he's going to be Buttons. And I was just like, can I be the fairy godmother?
Mm.
And they were
Great.
like,
Yeah.
what an interesting idea. So now I'm the fairy godmother, and then I'll be in disguise with Cinderella being like the cook in the house, whatever. So, you know, it's interesting where you can still have a little bit of a twist on it. And, you know, I'm really excited to be fairy godmother because I just think, oh, you know, the prince has got many balls coming up, and how many balls and all that thing, you know, and that you shall go to the ball, Cinderella. I've always wanted to say that.
And this year you're going to have the opportunity to do it,
I
Tim.
know,
Uh,
I know. And
and I
I
mean,
had
and
a
that's
costume fitting, and they were fabulous frocks they've got me this year. So, you know, I'm very excited
yeah, and I mean at the same time, because you said you've done the sixth year this is going to be, isn't it? At
for Hastings.
White
Yeah,
Rock Theatre, Hastings. Yeah,
yeah,
it's something different for the audience as well. They probably would
yeah,
like to see that.
yeah. I think so. And also, you know, the Hastings audiences are, you know, they are joyous, and they Ben Watson, who plays the comic, you know, he's been there for 10 years. So we've been become like this real good double act together. And
Mm.
last year it was just absolutely carnage. There was not one show where we got through without not corpsing. And the audience would like cry. You know, it was just it was joyous. There is not I think there is nothing like as an actor when you're standing on stage, and especially when you do the ghost gag and you hear like, you know, 1,000 kids screaming at you, it's behind, you know, and you just go, what?
Yeah.
You don't even have to do anything. What? Sorry, missed it. What? You know, and then they go mental. And to have that noise of sound
Hmm.
is just it's just fantastic. It
Yeah.
really is.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought this up because it's always people who are my friends who don't necessarily work in theatre are always like, what's the one thing about Panto that makes it special? And one of the things that I say is the noise that comes from the kids, especially
Yeah.
school shows. If you get to do school shows, and you know, it sounds like hell, really, but 10 o'clock in the morning, screaming at your face. But it's special, isn't it? Still,
Yeah, yeah. And also you've got, and also the great thing about it is, and I just remember as a kid, that was the first time I went to the theatre was to see a panto, and we have to remember that this is the first time children are going to the theatre for their experience, and it's not necessarily about, I have this discussion with some of my friends. It's not necessarily about them wanting to be involved in theatre when they grow up. It's about live entertainment and having something that is live that they watch, that they are a part of, which is, and it tells a story, and it gets them involved, and it just helps create that magic, and I think especially where we are now politically in our landscape, and how much anti against entertainment and live theatre, and people not being able to train anymore properly at schools and do drama, I think it's really vital that we get children into theatre to experience that live performance, before otherwise it'll disappear, and that'll be a real shame.
Yeah, and as you say, it's the first thing for many children and grown up, some of them, experience panto for the first time. It is so important. And you're going to be using some of these skills, I understand, to write your first panto. Has it started? How are you getting on?
Yeah, we had actually last week we had a read through for the producers of our first draft.
Yeah.
And Puss in Boots, and it's sort of a different spin on it. It's actually it's after Puss in Boots has happened.
Okay.
So, because Puss originally eats the ogre because he turns into a mouse, and then Puss eats him. So we've got Kevin the ogre, the ogre's evil brother, comes back to snatch the kingdom to find out who killed his brother. And then until they find out, as each day passes, whoever's done it doesn't fess up, then he puts a spell on the kingdom that all the men in the kingdom will be turned into cocks, chickens.
Chickens.
So Puss and the Master Baker go on their journey with Fanny the Dame along the way to defeat the ogre by making a cake full of creamy goodness that they have to feed to the ogre, and then he gets transformed into good. So again, even though it's the adult panto, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
We've got everything in it. Like we've got If I Were Not Up on the Stage, Ghost Gag, the who, where, what, why scene.
Yeah.
The scene with all the words beginning with the letter F, fabulous, fancy French patisserie, and all that stuff. So we put it all in, so all the elements are there. So hopefully it will be, but it's been really fascinating writing it, because obviously doing the RVT for 10 years, I've always tweaked bits of that. So it seemed like the natural progression that, me and my mate Lucy would end up writing one together. And who knows? I mean, God knows how it's going to go down. We have no idea. But the producers and all the actors really enjoyed it, and they said, "Oh, for a first draft, it's already in a stage where you could take it into rehearsals and tweak bits as you go." So we've come away and went, oh,
yeah,
right.
a breathe, really. And actually, as you say, it comes back again to that belief of understanding your skill, which you obviously do know, and just treating it like a normal pantomime with the adult themes in it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a storytelling, isn't it? You're telling a
Yeah,
story.
completely. And that is the most important thing, And, we both, when we were writing, we were both like going, what do we need to achieve by this scene? What is the narrative? Where do we need to be by the end of the scene? And other things that we need to reference that happen that then you reference later on, and then making sure that all the characters get their resolution.
Yeah.
So no one doesn't have an ending at that, by the time the story's finished, and making sure that people partner up. And also because we're double casting as well, what's been fascinating is to sort of know that we've got, because we're performers ourselves, we know how long a costume change is going to take.
Yeah.
So if you've got one actor exiting as the Queen and then she comes back on as a different character the day, then we know how long that takes. You can't do it in 3 lines.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we've really been really careful about the structure of it and making sure we hit those points as well technically as we're going along. So that's been, it's been fun, and we've laughed a lot and said, "Can we do that?" "Oh yeah, we can." "Great, let's do it." Yeah.
Do it. How, for someone who, because we have a lot of people who have worked in Panto who are watching, some people that just watch Panto and never performed before or been on the creative side. How long does it take to write a Panto script then? Is it an overnight thing? Does it take months? How does it go?
Well, I think we originally, when we were asked to do it, we just met and we just thought, oh, we'll just banter some ideas. And actually, we were pretty quick at putting the story down and we just mapped out each scene. And then we've met probably about 6 or 7 times.
Mhm.
But then we've always set ourselves deadlines and what we've needed to achieve in that session.
Yeah,
And then not done, if we've been ahead, we've not done any more. We've gone back and tweaked it there, but always kept to our deadlines, which I think has been the most important thing with the process actually. And
yeah,
just making sure that it just works and is funny and is smooth. Or if we can't think of anything, we'll put like in brackets topical reference gag here. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because that will change in 6 months' time. Who knows what the news is going to be. So there's yeah, it's just trying to make sure that you get the balance of those really silly gags that are
Yeah.
just silly, and then the more clever gags, as well. So it's so and if we can't think of one when we've been writing, we've just put gag here, you know,
Hmm. Yeah, and move on
um,
because
and move
you
on.
you can definitely get stuck when you're writing.
Yeah,
I love writing, but you can end up going, I don't know what to do. So a great idea. If
yeah,
any of
yeah,
you want to do writing, and you get stuck, just move on, leave a gap.
yeah.
It's okay. Let's go back to your performing side again. You do the Dame, as you have alluded to. You've done it for what is it, 9 years now? Did I hear altogether?
Maybe a bit more than that.
Yeah.
Maybe 12. Yeah, 12 or 13. Yeah, Hereford 4 years too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. About that. 12, I think.
Yeah, 12 years.
Yeah,
What makes the Dame so special though? Because we were saying that we hope the Dame doesn't go anywhere, but for lots of people, it is the part they want to play. Lots of
yeah, yeah.
people are like, I just want to be the Dame in a panto. Why is it so special for? What makes it special for you, Tim?
Um, I think also it's that one character that can be a bit more cheeky with the audience, and it's that knowing that they are a man, but it's I think the fun element,
Yeah.
especially like when it's the day when I always find my man or the victim as I call him in the front row, when you have that banter,
Yeah.
with him and make him stand up, and then I love all of that and just that sort of wink, like knowing with the audience.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
and that's the thing I think with Panto, there's certain characters that have to have they can't do that with the audience. That's not their role. Like,
Mm.
and sadly, it's mostly like Prince Charming, Aladdin, Cinderella. It's all those.
Yeah.
I would hate to do those roles because they're really boring, actually. Because you can't play where like the dame can play and the baddie can play.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's nothing. I mean, I still get really nervous, the first night when you go out there and you
Do
stand and you
you
do what.
still get nervous?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah, dreadfully, and I stand and I'm like, so, oh my goodness. And then wherever it is, mama, see you later. And then you intro music starts, and you're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. Well, I need a
You know,
career. What am I doing? Why am I
I
doing this
know, what am
for?
I doing? And then also, especially in tech, when you're standing around, and then sometimes, I look at myself and I'd be like, what am I doing? Why am I dressed like this?
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
do.
know,
I have to agree because I mean I do Dame a lot now, and you do sometimes just look down and go, who else would be paid to dress like
yeah,
this? What
yeah, I know,
what other job would you be dressed as a teapot
yeah,
or a
I
honeycomb?
know,
What
I
what
know.
Tim,
Why,
how
why
long?
am I
Go on,
Why
go
am
on,
I
go on.
coming on stage? Why am I coming on stage on a like a harp, like
Yeah,
15 feet in the air
yeah.
in a gold cat suit with long blonde hair, singing really out of tune? Why am
No.
I why am I why am I doing this? What is this about?
So you wouldn't
All
get that
those
in an
things.
office, would you? You wouldn't get that in an
No,
office.
no, no.
Tim, how
But then
long
I
does it
feel,
take you to do your makeup?
oh well, oh my God, when I first started, it used to take me forever. And I never could put my own eyelashes on. I was just really dreadful, they'd end up on my forehead or
Yeah.
on my nose, but now, actually, what happened during the pandemic, I did some Dame storytelling for
Oh,
a
great.
charity, the Toy Project.
Mhm.
So I had to do it myself,
Yeah.
so I managed. So now I'm actually quite quick at it now.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, because
this year I was realizing, I spoke to Michelle, my dresser, this afternoon actually, and we are having a good old natter. And I was saying, oh, my fairy godmother said, I have to be on from the top of the show.
Yeah,
And she went, yes, I know. I went, I'll never be ready. I'm, do you know what I mean? You always
yeah.
sit there with your makeup thinking I've got hours. And then, the day never really comes on at the beginning. It's always like 10, 12 minutes into it. But this year I was like, oh no, I'll be on from the top.
From the beginning, yeah,
Yeah.
you can't leave it until that overture starts this year. You've got
No,
to get on with it.
no, I know. And probably
Oh,
first one, pyro,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Don't put too much hairspray on, for goodness sake,
I
this year,
know,
or on your face to keep your
I
makeup
know,
in.
I know.
Tim, we've almost come to the end of our cup of chat already. It's flew by. I've really enjoyed speaking to you, and especially
Thank you,
about
likewise.
the adult side of it as well. And just to confirm with people, if you haven't gone to an adult panto, do go to one as well, because they are a lot of fun. I'm asking everyone though, Tim, the same final question here on the cup of chat, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it and who you would choose as such. We're asking everyone, if you could be in any pantomime in the whole wide world, A, what would it be? And B, who would you want to be performing with? Now, it can be someone who's from the present day or someone who's unfortunately not with us anymore. Who would be your star person to perform with, and in which show?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you know what? I think my favorite panto dame, which I absolutely loved, was Dame Trot in Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
For some reason, I really like Dame Trot. Twanky, I've done a couple of times, and I'm not. It's all right, but I'm not really that keen on that one. But yeah, Dame Trot and Jack and the Beanstalk. And performance wise, I think it would have to be. I'd love to work with Molly Sugden.
Good choice. Yes. Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think she would. Do you know what I mean? She was a legend. I mean, there's so many. I feel so grateful because I've worked with so many amazing performers over the years, and we've always, and my sons have all been joyous as well. And
Mhm.
yeah. So it's just to sort of. I think also the most important thing, and last year we were so lucky. We had a wonderful company when we did, what did we do? Beauty and the Beast last year, which I've never done before as a panto.
Mm.
But we all had such a good time, and all the audience said that when they saw us, they chatted to us afterwards, whatever. They all said that it looked like we were having fun,
Yeah.
and I think that really generated to the audience, and I think that's really important as well. And not forgetting, the audience is like the 12th member of the cast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are the other cast member really, and that's something to always remember. And especially writing it, we've realised, we've gone, oh, we need to involve the audience. We need to get them back into it to feel that they're a part of it. Because I've seen some pantos where you sit there and go, well, this is great, but you're actually not involving me.
Yeah.
And I have my voice here as well that I want to shout, and you're not giving
Mm-hmm.
me that opportunity.
Yeah, and
So that's been really
actually,
interesting.
that was such. I mean, I was lucky enough to do a panto in the COVID year, and taking that element away,
Oh God,
that
yeah,
no one
yeah.
was shouting, just crazy. It was
I
just
know.
not. It wasn't panto, really.
Yeah,
But good choice with Molly as well, Tim. Good choice.
yeah.
I think that's a good one to keep at the back of the mind. Brilliant performer again, like lots of them we've been having on here. Tim, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
us
much. Thank you.
here on the Cuppa Chat. And you can remember to keep up to date with all of our current listings on the Panto archive. Tim, where are you this Christmas? Can you tell us?
The White Rock in Hastings.
Perfect. And what's it this year? It's Cinderella, isn't it? You said.
Cinderella. You shall go to the ball, Gary. You shall.
I'm on my way. The clock is striking. It's time to go. Thank you so much, Tim. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
See
Bye,
you,
everyone.
everyone.